All right. Well, it was a pretty interesting day for a couple of people inside of the state, especially if you are inside of the Midlands or if you are inside of the PD areas, maybe even the southern upstate as well. As you can see on the screen right now, Sonic Boom inside of the state of South Carolina. You might be asking, well, what in the world are you talking about? I have no like, what even is a Sonic Boom? What is that? Well, if we go on right here real quick, and first off, there was an earthquake today. There was an earthquake today, and I think that some people may have confused this phenomenon here for an earthquake. And so you can see on the map we have two new areas of concern for earthquakes here. The first one on the left hand side, that one was around 2 kilometers west northwest of McCormick, South Carolina. That was a 1.9 magnitude earthquake that occurred at around 4:20 this morning. At around 4:20 this morning, we saw that. Now, another thing that you see is right over here, this orange spot. It almost looks like a diamond almost, just to the south of that yellow circle right there. And just to the north of Columbia, that was around 11 kilometers north of Irma, or that was around actually probably more 11 kilometers north of Columbia. And so this area right here, you can see it's definitely in a different shape, and you can see it says a 0 magnitude because sonic booms are definitely not, they're not technically classified as earthquakes. They really are just mainly just like a phenomenon that happens when something is moving through the air so quickly to the point to where it's faster than sound. And so that causes that sonic boom to happen. Now, I've seen plenty of videos of it. Obviously, can't show any because obviously, copyright permissions, all that kind of stuff. But it's all over social media. If you follow me on Twitter, and I probably will post it on Instagram after this, 360_weather, you probably will see that video up on my feed. So if you want to see that, definitely go on and check that out. But this area right here, just to north of Columbia, that's what that was. Now, what is the cause? They don't know what the cause of this was yet. They don't know. But according to the USGS, right here, they said the USGS reports a 0 magnitude sonic boom about 3 miles northeast of St. Andrews happened around 5:24 p.m. today. And so, like I said, over here on my page, over here the South Carolina weather page, over here at 360_weather. So, like I said, I didn't hear anything where I am inside of the low country over here in the Tri-County area, but, plenty of videos that have went around talking about this area. And so if you heard it, definitely let me know inside of the chat. I don't see anything about anybody talking about it right now. But that's pretty much all for that. I mean, nothing else really you can say about it except for that it happened. You can't really prepare for it. It's just a noise that happens. So, again, in the Midland areas happened earlier this afternoon. Now, what's on tap for today? So after the whole sonic boom talk and the earthquake talk, because remember we did also have an earthquake as well, we're going to be talking about isolated shower and thunderstorm activity, possibly early evening as a weak cold front drops south. Another round of increasing showers and storms, especially across the CSRA, the central and the southern parts of South Carolina. And we're still expecting widespread scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms as the front lifts back north on Saturday. Warm and humid conditions continue through Thursday as highs go up into the upper 80s, lower 90s, and then the mid 80s. If you have not the like button yet or the subscribe button yet, go on and do so. It's free, it's free, it's free. So what's currently going on throughout the state of South Carolina? Well, right now, we see rainfall going on throughout the Midlands. We see some going on throughout the upstate. And then as we move on over here towards the western PD areas, the western Grand Strand areas, you see rainfall going on. And it's not looking like, severe weather. It's not looking like flash flooding or anything like that. But it is looking like some pretty heavy downpours moving on throughout the state. Now, what's going on throughout the entire U.S.? We do see some rainfall in the southeast. We see some rainfall in the central U.S. as well as over into the Mississippi Valley areas. We see some rainfall going on up in the northwest, where there even is some severe weather going on in the northwest in Idaho, going on in Oregon, Washington, Montana, rainfall and some snowfall going on in California. Now for our cloud cover, we are seeing some cloud cover statewide. No matter if you're from the upstate all the way down to the coastal areas, you are seeing cloud cover right now. And there are some clear spots, 100%, but cloud cover activity seems to be mostly dominating us. And taking a look at our cloud cover for the future, we move through tonight going into tomorrow morning. We see more cloud cover statewide moving into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, going even into Saturday. More cloud cover ongoing. For our current temperatures right now, we're talking about 77 in Summerville, Charleston, Beaufort, 78 Orangeburg, as well as 79 in Columbia, 78 Sumter, as well as 78 in Murrells Inlet, 77 Myrtle Beach, Conway, 82 Hartsville, 80 in York, Rock Hill, Gaffney, 81 in Spartanburg, 80 Greenville, 79 in Clemson and Anderson. For our air quality for tonight, we're talking about a couple of spots in that moderate category, but most of us are inside the good category. If you're in the yellow areas, just make sure that you're aware, make sure that you are paying attention to the air quality for tonight if you're outside for a long period of time. Then for our low temperatures for tonight, we're talking about 63 in Spartanburg, Rock Hill, 68 in Columbia, Orangeburg, 67, Moncks Corner, 73, Charleston, 70, Georgetown, 71, Myrtle Beach, and 74 at Hilton Head Island, 68 in Aiken and Barnwell. And then as we go into your high temperatures for tomorrow, we're talking about 81 in Greenville, 82 Spartanburg, 84 in Rock Hill, 87 Columbia, Orangeburg, 86 in Walterboro, 85 in Charleston, 83 in Georgetown, and 81 in Myrtle Beach. Rainfall for us, definitely still expected. I mean, we can see all the way up from 1/100 of an inch of rainfall all the way up to an inch of rainfall, seeing the most amounts kind of scattered up, like 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch in Moncks Corner, 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch in Georgetown, Barnwell, 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch in Aiken, and then you also see some lower spots like 1/100 of an inch to a 1/10 of an inch in Charleston, Winsboro, Newberry. Now for the SPC outlook, thunderstorms obviously are expected still as we go into tonight. We'll see how that affects us in the future, but I mean, there still could be a thunderstorm going on throughout the state right now as we speak. And then as we move into tomorrow, thunderstorm activity is again expected, especially throughout that western half of the state, from the upstate down all the way down towards the coastal areas. And then on Saturday, we're still talking about more thunderstorm activity statewide. No matter where you are, you have a chance of a thunderstorm on Saturday. Now for your fire weather, we're not expecting anything here. Excessive rainfall. Excessive rainfall is a bit of an issue. Isolated flash flooding tonight still. I think that's going to go away pretty soon, though. Tomorrow, another risk, but we also have a slight risk of excessive rainfall. So if you don't know what this yellow area is, it is a 15% risk of flash flooding. And then in the green, it's a 5% risk of flash flooding. That goes from Greenville, Anderson, Greenwood, Orangeburg, Beaufort. And then if you're not in any of those areas, you are inside of the 0% risk, really 0.001, because, obviously anything is possible for when it comes to weather. And so there's never really a complete 0%. Then for day 3 here, this is on Saturday. Saturday, the entire state has a risk of isolated flash flooding. Sunday comes along, restricts itself towards the western low country. And then Monday comes along, and Monday brings another risk down here in the southern low country, going on towards the coastal areas like Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, Ridgeland. So now for the crazy score. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, it is a score that we see how active our conditions are throughout the entire state of South Carolina. And right now we're at a 23 inside that mild category. Slightly breezy or cloudy, but no major concerns, and that's completely correct. I mean, we're seeing cloudy conditions. We still are seeing rainfall right now, and we still potentially may even see like a couple of minor storms here or there. So I completely agree with this ranking right here in that mild category, even though not completely widespread, but it's definitely, like in terms of thunderstorm activity, I believe it's right. So let's go in now and take a look at the models. Models are at the time, obviously, for the models at the bottom part of your screen. And just as we start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. going all the way to around 10 o'clock p.m. or so, what do we see? We see rainfall going on, honestly, statewide. You see, rather it be more of a isolated to scattered risk, maybe even up to a numerous risk. it honestly looks like it's like that throughout from the upstate all the way down into the PD areas, all the way into the low country areas as well. And so as you move all the way through this morning, going into or tomorrow morning, you're not really seeing too much in terms of rainfall activity. And then as you move into around 11 a.m., going into around 12 o'clock p.m. or so, you see some more rainfall going on. Now, I only really see that in the low country. I mean, maybe by noon tomorrow, there could be a shower or storm going on in the low country. And then even as we move to around 4 p.m., going all the way to 5 to 6 o'clock p.m., seeing more rainfall activity, more thunderstorm activities in that, especially that low country and that southern Midland area. And then once we move to around 10 o'clock p.m. on Friday, moving into the early morning hours on Saturday, huge amount of rainfall, huge plume of moisture moves in into the state of South Carolina as we move into around the early morning hours on Saturday. And that's where, that's why the entire state's in that marginal risk of excessive rainfall. It's because from the morning hours going all the way into the afternoon, I mean, look at these storms right here that are getting going inside of the low country, inside the southern Midlands on Saturday afternoon. Looks just not that great at all. Not great. But one thing I will say about tomorrow is tomorrow doesn't look like the most widespread rainfall day. I mean, even as we move into the afternoon, you just mainly just see those showers and storms inside of the low country and in the Midland area. Not too much in the PD, not too much in the Grand Strand, and I guess that is why they're not really showing too much rainfall throughout those northern and eastern areas, and that's just because you're not really seeing too much. So now, what about for our future? We start off here at around 2 o'clock p.m., and just as we go on and push this forward on Saturday, going into Sunday, things start to calm down. Things really do start to calm down. But then as we move into Monday, going into Tuesday, we're starting to see more rainfall activity going on throughout the state. And then once we move into Tuesday, going into Wednesday, things really do start to dry off once again. But then as you get into like the later parts of next week, I do start to see some more rainfall activity starting to kind of start to like fall in line a little bit, which is great. We want the rainfall. We have a drought currently ongoing. And by the way, the drought prediction is inside the chat right now. Go on and vote. Go on and vote. We've had a lot of people vote tonight. So be a part of that group. But a good amount of rainfall potentially coming in as we go into next weekend as well. So if you have any plans next weekend, I definitely would be watching. Here. Now, how much rainfall are we looking at as we go throughout the next 400 hours or so? Well, if we go on and take a look at the GEFS real quick, we go on and take a look at the total precipitation. Right now, it's showing around 1.5 inches at the least, and trying to get up to around 2 to 3 inches of rainfall for the state as we move throughout the next 300 and 400 hours on the GEFS. And then if we go to the European model, you have to push back to the 12Z, kind of shows the same thing, around 1.5 inches up to around 3, maybe even 4 inches of rainfall as we move throughout the next 300 to 400 hours. So I do believe that rainfall activity will continue to go on and try and take down this drought. Now, what's going on in terms of temperatures? Because obviously, rainfall is good. We want to see those showers, those storms start to pop up because that brings in good amounts of rainfall. But watch as we go into this weekend. Cooler air starts to file in, and that's because a cold front's going to be dropping through the region as we go into this weekend, and that's going to cause us to receive cooler temperatures. And we're going to be around 10, 15, 20 degrees below normal as we go into this weekend right here. We go into Monday, going into Tuesday, more cooler air goes along. And then you don't really start to see that warmer air really starting to take place until we get later into not only next weekend, but even past that. I mean, look at how long this cooler air is going to try and stay with us. Now, just because it is cooler doesn't mean that we're going to have temperatures down in the 30s, the 40s, anything like that. It's summertime now. But if we go and take a look at it, we're still seeing 80s, we're still seeing 90s, but then that cooler air comes in. And one thing I will say is we see some 50s for some lows, so do not be shocked. If you come in going into around Saturday night, Sunday morning or so up there in the upstate, I see around 58, 59. I see high temperatures only getting up to the 60s over there in the upstate, the western Midlands, while everybody else getting up into the 70s or so. Then we get over into Monday, going into Tuesday, seeing more 80s, seeing more 90s, but low temperatures are getting down to the 50s. So 50s, I believe 50s are going to be trying to make a return here, a strong return here as we move on into next week. We go over into Thursday and Friday or so, bringing some more 90s, bringing in some more 80s and 90s as we move into Saturday and Sunday or so. But of next week, but that warmer air, even though the cooler air is there, we're still seeing temperatures up into the 80s and 90s or so. So that just shows you that, it doesn't really matter how, cooler we really do get. I mean, temperatures are still going to be up into the 70s. Still going to be trying to get up into the 80s or so just because it's summertime. And so that's pretty much all I have to say here in terms of the deterministic. Let's go on and take a look at the ensembles real quick. Then we'll go on and talk with the audience. If you want to go on and be a part of the audience, be a subscriber, subscribe right now, and you will be able to type. Hopefully something weather related or something appropriate, obviously. Then as we go on into Saturday, going into Sunday or so, seeing some more, according to the GEFS, so these are the ensembles right here. This is the members put together. So this goes into next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And we're still seeing 80s, we're still seeing 90s here, even as we move into the week after next week. So I do believe that even though cooler air may be trying to move through, I mean, it's going to be technically be cooler than average, but really, will it really be cooler than average? Technically, but I mean, you're still going to see pretty warm temperatures nonetheless. And so that's pretty much all they have to say here in terms of the long-term future. So you already talked about the earthquake monitor. Let's go and talk about the drought monitor. So we have a good amount, probably one of the biggest voting groups that we've seen here in a good little minute on the drought prediction. So I'm excited for this. And so if you have no idea what the drought monitor is, it is a monitor that's put out by the U.S. Drought Monitor. And it shows us what's going on with the drought currently inside of the state of South Carolina. And it's updated every Thursday. And every Thursday we come here and we try and guess and see who can get the drought monitor correct. And so I already have my position locked in. I already have it. But let me see what y'all said first. 27% think that the drought has expanded. 55% think that the drought has shrunk or stayed the same. And 18% thinks that the drought is completely gone. Like, we're not looking at anything else in terms of the drought. And 0% thinks that the drought and the abnormally dry is gone. The AD stands for abnormally dry. Abnormally dry is like, it's dry, but it's not drought level dry, but it's close. And just looking at how much rainfall we got, I mean, we see 3 inches in Columbia fell, 5 inches in Augusta fell, 3 to 4 inches of rainfall fell in Spartanburg and Greenville and Anderson, an inch in Myrtle Beach. But look at down there in Charleston, 2/10. Look down there near Hilton Head Island, barely anything. These coastal areas, especially the coastal low country and even coastal Georgetown counties, really just got completely messed up and just not that great in terms of rainfall activity compared to everybody else. I mean, I see close to around 4, 5, 6 inches of rainfall for some areas up here in the upstate, up here in the northern Midlands and the northern PD areas. Well, some other areas only got around 0.2 inches. Now, my prediction, I'm going to have to agree with the majority. I think that the drought has shrunk or stayed the same. And honestly, I think that it took the shrunk side. I don't think it stayed the same at all. I think that it definitely did shrink. I mean, much amount of rainfall right here, that has to do something for the drought. No way the drought is going to continue to be the same. So let's go on and get a drum roll real quick, and we will go on and check the drought monitor out. And it seems like that it definitely did shrink. It definitely did shrink. So congratulations to the majority that got it correct. And let's just go on and give a round of applause because the drought monitor did go down. So I'm glad to see this. Glad to see this. We want this to happen. Now, if we go on and take a look at last week's drought monitor, that would be on the 21st. That was the last Thursday that we had. And just going back and checking it out real quick. There it is. This is what it looked like last week. This is what it looked like last week right here, Thursday, May the 21st, 2026, when that was last updated. And you can definitely see how the D3 in the upstate, you see the D3 in the Midlands. Look at this. Look at how much of an of a decrease that is. I mean, that is huge. That is huge right there. There is no longer a D3 inside the upstate or the Midland area anymore. I mean, that is a huge decrease. This rainfall that we got up there in these areas, just amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, the low country, going on the Grand Strand areas, those areas definitely do need rainfall still exceptionally badly, especially over there in the western low country. But upstate and Midlands can actually breathe a little sigh of relief as they are really going down. And it even went down as far to see that an area that was in the D2 has now went down to D1. And that was over there in southern Aiken County going on in northern Barnwell. There is still a little northern red area in northern Marlborough County, northeastern Chesterfield County, but for the most part, it looks honestly a lot better. Looks a lot better. Looks like a lot better. So thank you to everyone who did participate. Let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off with Mr. Anthony, who was here first. He says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Mount Lewis says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. I pray that everyone had a wonderful day today. In Georgetown, our high was 89. Humidity, it felt like 99. Currently, it's 75 degrees right now inside of Georgetown. Well, at my house right now, it is 75, same as yours, and the high temperature was 89. So we have the same stuff going on over here. My Nana says, hello, Jay and all. Hello to you. Then Maya Lewis says, today we had lots of rain and thunderstorm activity. At the moment, it is still raining. My garden looks great from all that rainfall. My Nana says, in spite of all, I enjoyed my day. I now have several plants to tend to. There are a few more that I'm looking for. Well, hopefully you can find them without a problem. Maya Lewis says, I thank the Lord for sunshine and rain. Absolutely. And then Trail says, thankful Thursday, rain again. My cousin Cheryl says, good evening. I am listening. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Then Daniel Cook says, I will enjoy some cool weather. Great coffee weather. I'm praying for more rainfall. Well, more rainfall is coming. More rainfall is coming. Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. I'm sorry that I am late, but I'm here. No problem. No problem. I did see your email the other day. I don't know if I told you about that the day that you weren't here, but I did see that email. The granddaughter is doing well, everyone. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Can't believe that cooler temperatures are coming again this close to summer. Well, I mean, yeah, 50 degrees or so. I mean, especially up there for the upstate. I mean, that's definitely not what a lot of people are going to be expecting. So I'm glad that we're catching that kind of early. Milo says, I need some cooler weather to do some work outside. Congratulations to those who got it correct, absolutely. To the 55%. Great to note the drought went down, absolutely. And then Thad says, good evening, just from the 360 Weather family. My apologies for my tardiness. I was outside working in the yard. It was a beautiful day here today, high of 92. It was a day filled with sunshine and beautiful cumulus clouds. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Glad that you are doing well, and glad that you were able to work outside today in the beautiful weather. Mr. Chris says, got you around 90 degrees here in Moncks Corner. Currently, it's 77. Well, thank you so much for that weather report. And the Daniel Cook says, I got tired of pushing a lawnmower and bought me a zero turn. Much better. My legs are not hurting as much. Well, you know what? Let's go and give you a round of applause for that. Good investment right there. And then Thad says, I'm currently watching these Spurs play the Thunder. Wish us luck. Well, good luck to y'all. And y'all's, it's not the finals yet. Not the finals yet. So, Western Conference Finals. Good luck to y'all in that. And that's all that I can see here throughout the entire chat. So, good amount of us tonight. Thank you to everybody who did chat for tonight. And so we're going to go on now and talk about the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 areas outside of South Carolina? What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly. And because they tune in almost nightly, as a thank you, we go on and give them their forecast for them, even though South Carolina is not even their main location. So, let's go on real quick and do this. We'll do the top fan question in just a second after we're done with Raleigh. But with San Antonio, Texas, you have low temperatures tonight at 68, high temperature for tomorrow at 88, and then low temperatures tomorrow at around 73. No precipitation is expected for you at this time. So you're not seeing any sort of. They actually did just release an update for it. Let me see if I can go and get the new one. Did they change it up? No, they're not saying anything. Not saying anything. So you're going to continue to stay dry as you go all the way through into this weekend. I mean, nice dry conditions as you get into Monday going into Tuesday, though. That chance of rain goes up pretty well. It goes up pretty well. And so in terms of severe weather, excessive rainfall, right now I'm not seeing anything there in terms of severe weather, but then in terms of excessive rainfall, I'm not seeing anything here either. So I think that you are all in the clear there, but again, heavy rainfall is definitely coming. Heavy rainfall coming, either rather it be later this weekend or early next week. Then, guys, we go on and take a look at Raleigh, North Carolina. You have low temperatures tonight at 61, high temperature for tomorrow at 84, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 65. No precipitation is expected at this time in terms of severe weather, in terms of excessive rainfall. Right now, you're not really looking for that. And then if we go on and take a look at your future, right now we're just looking at temperatures continuing to be up into the 80s. You'll drop down to the 70s for a little bit on Sunday due to that cooler air. But then as you go into Monday, Tuesday of next week, more 80s come along. Let me check out the chat one more time. My Stark Angel says a sonic boom. Yes, it did happen today. There was one. Today we were just talking about it earlier over there just to the north of Columbia. To anybody who is late and wasn't here at the beginning when we talked about it, there was a sonic boom that happened over there in the northern parts, or at least just to the north of Columbia, not directly in that inner area. And it was, they don't know what the cause of it was yet, but it's not technically an earthquake, so that's why it says a magnitude of a 0. And so usually how a sonic boom happens is when there's something going on in the sky, an object moving so fast, it's moving faster than the speed of sound, and you hear that big boom noise. And, you know it's not anything like fireworks or anything like that, like a bit too loud or a bit too different to be fireworks or anything like that. So if you didn't know, they released it about an hour and some change ago is when they released this information out. And it was in the Midlands. I didn't hear it where I was inside of the Low Country in the Tri-County area. So if you weren't in the Midlands and if you weren't in the PD areas, at least those western PD areas, there's a good chance that you probably did not hear it. There's a good chance that you probably did not hear it. Now that is out of the way, let's go on and check out and see real quick before we move on to the other two areas and see who is paying attention for tonight. Top fans of the night for tonight. I have a question tonight, and let's see who can get it correct. If you can get this question correct, you will be included on the top fan of the night for tonight. And so this has to do with the drought. What area, and I need an area like like Midlands, PD, Grand Strand, Low Country. I need that area, and then I also need like Western, Northern, Southern, or anything like that. What area was the D1 moderate drought present? So wherever that area was, where the drought really did start to decrease down into D1 levels, what area was that? If you can answer that, you will be the top fan of the night for tonight. So again, it has to be like PD, Western PD, Southern Low Country, Northern Upstate, Eastern, Grand Strand. It has to be an answer like that. And if you can get it correct, you will be inside of that group. Now for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 55, high temperature for tomorrow at 79, then low temperatures tomorrow night at 56. No precipitation is expected until around next week, Tuesday or so. In terms of excessive rainfall, severe weather, everything like that, looks like that you are in the clear. Here. And then in terms of your severe weather, I'm not seeing anything here either. No excessive rainfall, nothing like that. Now for your future, it honestly looks like that you will just continue to go on and stay dry. I mean, like I said, until next week, Tuesday, and then temperatures will also continue to kind of just stay in the 70s. But watch next week, you'll be going up into the 80s. You will be moving yourself up into the 80s. And then the final area, probably the more active area, that being Duncan, Oklahoma. That they have usually some of the more active areas there, but honestly, tonight probably the most active, if I was to say. But going on over here inside of Duncan, you have low temperatures tonight at 65, high temperature for tomorrow at 91, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 71. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow, but tomorrow night there is a slight chance of thunderstorms, so make sure that you're aware there. Now, in terms of your excessive rainfall, severe weather, I'm not seeing anything in terms of excessive rainfall, severe weather-wise. Looks like that you are not in the clear tomorrow, and on Saturday you have an isolated severe weather risk, so make sure that you're aware. For your future, temperature-wise, you're going to continue to be up into the 90s, but then you'll drop it to the 80s as you get into next week, and then you'll have a chance of rainfall almost every single day next week, on Monday all the way through Thursday. And that's all that I can see here. So let's go on and check out real quick and see what's going on in terms of the answers. And for right now, I see Midlands, Piedmont, Low Country, Northern Upstate, PD, Northwest. None of those answers are correct. I've only seen the area included once. And I will say, it's not the Piedmont, it's not the Upstate, it's not the Piedmont, and it's not the Upstate. Those areas are not the correct answer. Let's go in and take a look and see what's going on throughout the entire U.S. Widespread showers and storms will persist across the northwest and the southern U.S. through the end of the week. Dry and breezy conditions will contribute to elevated fire weather that will extend all the way into the Four Corners region through Friday. Above average temperatures will also persist across the northern plains into the weekend. So all of that going on as we go into the next couple of days or so. Still seeing air quality alerts down there inside of Dallas, going on in Fort Worth, going on down there, even in San Antonio. San Antonio's in that air quality alert. That's for atmospheric conditions are expected to be favorable for producing high levels of ozone air pollution in the San Antonio area tomorrow. And that's all that I can see here throughout the entire U.S. So let's go on and see what else we have. Okay. I will say that it is the Midlands. So my mom had it on track there. It is in the Midlands. Also, my aunt Lula also had it on track when she said the Midlands. But which part was it? Which part of the Midlands was it? Wasn't the Southern. Was not the Southern. And to wrap this up, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet, go on and do so. We're at 738, trying to get to 800. We're moving on up. Now we're at 739. Thank you to whoever that was. We're moving on up all the way up to 800. If you have not hit the subscribe button yet, go on and do so. Also hit the like button. We've had 111 people tune in tonight. And hold on. We have 111 people tune in tonight. 111 people come in tonight. And we've only had 11 likes. No, it's not Lexington, and it's not the Eastern Midlands. It's either the Northern or the Western Midlands. It's one of those two. And so, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. I mean, 111 people have tuned in, and we only have 11 likes. If you're a part of that group of 100 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free, and it's free. I mean, the amount of times that I could say free, it is. Will not cost you a dime or anything. So, that's all that I can say there. And then, yes, it was indeed the Western Midlands. If you want to take a look at it to make sure I'm not making things up, over there in the Western Midlands, over there in Aiken counties, going on in Barnwell counties, in the Western Midland area. More, I guess, you can kind of say Southern. So, I think it's more Western than Southern. I mean, you can put that up for debate. But, it is in the Southern Midland zone, but it's more along that border. And so that's what I was mainly looking at. But, Thad did say Western Midlands, and if my mom does want to give herself that, and y'all two will share it for tonight, I guess that is fine. Because it technically was Southern, and it also technically was Western. It was kind of in both. So, give them two a round of applause. And that's all I have to say. So, just checking out. I always hit the line started to say Aiken County as well. It had to be a specific region, not really a county specifically. But that's all. I'll be back tomorrow morning with your Friday morning forecast update. I will not be here Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday morning. I will be gone. So, no forecast that day. I may make a short, but I'm not going to go on and be here at my computer making actual videos. So, that's what we're going to be pretty much focusing on. And we'll be back for the hurricane season forecast on Monday. Also on Sunday evening, we're going to be talking about the week forecast for the last day of May going into Saturday. So make sure that you're there for that. Hit those two buttons before you leave if you're new.